Hi there, welcome to Dev Brew. This is where indie developers send their games and I do my best to give feedback on their game design. My name is Devon, and today we're taking a look at JollyWorld while I have my coffee with me. I forgot, what do I have? Dark roast. With my cup warmer, because I'm cool like that. Disclaimer, by the way, for JollyWorld, it's a bit gruesome. It's a lot like those Flash games in the early 2000s, sites like Newgrounds and stuff. So if you're sensitive to, gore and stuff, this is not the video for you. Another thing is that because of the community involvement in this game, there's a lot of levels that people made that are intended to offend. So if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, then that's another thing to watch out for. There is, by the way, a way to submit your own game if you'd like to see it covered on a show like this. So check out the link in the description and yeah, submit one if you want. Let's take a look at this game. What is this game? This game is, this is JollyWorld. JollyWorld was developed by Terminarch Games and was submitted by Eric. And there's a link in the description if you'd like to play it. Basically, an editing type of game. What I mean by that, I'm bringing myself in here. Hi there. The game is basically a level editor game. Let's look at the tutorial real quick, just because I think that's important. So in the tutorial here, you can see this is basically what it is, right? You start off with a little person on a bicycle. The point is to use these quap-like mechanics to get the person over to certain places. And this is the tutorial here. You can see, it's very quap. And by quap, of course, I mean, that running game. But also, the game is, it's a level editor. What I mean by that is kind of like Mario Paint, or as of late, Mario Maker, Super Mario Maker and Super Mario Maker 2, or Line Writer, if you remember Line Writer. They're games where they're basically set on an editor. That is the game. The game is about editing stuff. But also, there's a set of mechanics underneath it where you can play those games. But it's a very simple one. In Super Mario Maker, not so much. It's actually pretty complex, which is amazing. I can't believe how they did that with that game. It's pretty amazing. But with like a game like Line Writer, for example, there's not a whole lot of mechanics to do. In fact, a Line Writer is just about watching an animation play out. It's not really actually about playing anything. And so the game itself is just about the editing process, right? It's about drawing lines and stuff. So in this game, it's kind of a mixture of both. It's where you have very simple mechanics, which is this quap-like thing, either riding a bicycle or bouncing a ball, or they even have the getting over it with Bennett, and it's neat. It's a really neat thing, and overall I think it works. I think it definitely works, and you can tell by the community involvement that it's a big win. There's a lot of people really like this game. So now I want to talk about some of the design specifics. So once you beat the tutorial level, then it comes into this. This is the home screen. I do not like the home screen. The home screen feels just way too busy. There's just so many things going on here. They all have their purpose, obviously, but this could really use a graphic design overhaul. It really needs a graphic design overhaul because a lot of the things in here are taking up a lot of our attention. So you can see, so the title up here, JollyWorld, it has the same font that they've been using for everything, which is this really big, just in-your-face font. But the problem with that is that they're using the same font for the login and the editor. It's like trying to draw your attention in too many places at once. And then what we have is the same, the same crazy font on all these buttons on below. So everything very much looks the same. If I'm drawn to everywhere at once, then everything looks the same. It might as well just be one big gray screen. And I can see what they're trying to do here, right? They have each of the tiles presented like a Wii channel kind of thing. And it's kind of interesting, because each of the ones has these little icons here that are, they're telling you what kind of control that you need. Plus they have a little rating, that's given at the bottom there. So yeah, there's not too much information. It just feels like too much information because there's so much, I want to say, visual affinity going on. I think that's the term. Visual affinity is when you're pulled in no direction. And when you're pulled in so many directions at once, then you're pulled in no direction. It's the rule of contrast, right? If you had a room full of, say, just a bunch of gray things, just a room full of a bunch of gray stuff, and there was one little red object in there, then it would immediately draw your eye. But if you had a red object, a blue object, green and yellow, and then just, rainbow colors everywhere, then suddenly it's back to the gray room idea where now there's no more contrast. Now everything just looks the same again. even though you're doing different colors, right? So that's the whole point of this graphic design stuff. It's kind of obvious because this is, you know, a version, this is version, where'd my cursor go, boy? Yeah, so down here you can see, I don't know if you can see, version 0.9.79. I don't know if it's in beta phase or whatever. Maybe I can go to the Discord. Speaking of Discord, check out my Discord because there's a bunch of game design talk in there and it's awesome. It looks to be still in its early stages, so it kind of makes sense that the game is this kind of graphic design. It's still in need of a lot of tightening up. So I do just want to show you some of the really the fun stuff here. So this is a level based on, as you can probably tell, Squid Game. This is the red light, green light game. And I just thought, like, some of this stuff is just so interesting. Yeah, so you have the drawing there, which is so good. And it shows green light, you have 2 seconds until you die, and then red light, green light, and 2 seconds before. And it's just interesting. That's like one of those levels. Here's a getting over it type of level, but it's a little maze. This was actually my first time playing this kind of gameplay. I know all about the game, but I've just never played it. This is another game where you're basically golfing. I thought that was a lot of fun, actually. It's really cool. This one was insane. This is like a sawmill. Like they have a whole gauge down there. Down at the bottom here, we have this whole gauge, which is crazy. And we have like a saw blade and it says where to cut this tree. Just insane, just the kind of, you know, Minecraft ingenuity that you would see. They go all the way, you know, from simple stuff like getting over, you know, rooftops to this one right here is a story. There's a story being told here, which is crazy. Like, I love that. I saw this. This was crazy. I don't even know how they did this. There's freaking space invaders. Like what? How did they even do that? Like, that's insane. So this is the tutorial, and the tutorial is amazing. This is for the editor. I really like this tutorial because of the way that it goes about interacting with you and teaches you everything that you need to know. So right off the bat, it looks terrible. It really looks uninviting. So there's a lot of things happening right on the screen here. We can see with this big old wall of text up here, you know, that's a lot of information, right? As soon as you look at that, you're just like, oh my God, I don't even know. And then the font that they're using is the same font as that JollyWorld thing, which is just too much. It's drawing my attention way too much. So there's too much stuff going on. Same with the bright red and the bright blue. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of drawing my attention and to multiple directions at once. And again, the same font here. It doesn't need to be that way. Everything needs to come down. It's so maximum right now. I feel like I'm being bombarded with information. But let's get on to the good stuff. So what's really cool about this is when you get over all that visual nonsense that's happening, it says right here, welcome to the tutorial level and learn how to build a level in 10 easy steps. This is really cool. Editors with like a lot of power in them are typically really obtuse, and it's hard to get into it. So it's really nice that, you know, they're taking the time to step out each of these things for us. So the first thing it says is 1 out of 10. This literally says right here, 1 out of 10 drag. So it tells you how many steps are left in the thing, which is really cool. It says press space on your keyboard and click left. And so that's what you do, and you go on to the next step. I really like that because like the player's driving how fast the tutorial is going, which I think that's really, really good. They can learn on their own terms. I really like that. Next one is zoom in and out, and just shows you how to do it. Another thing that they have with this, while you're learning all this stuff, the tutorial seems to have been made in the same level editing program that you're using right now. So I like that the elements that it shows are also elements that you can just interact with. Like right here, we're clicking on triangles that they're showing us, right? It just says, hey, move the triangle over there. I love that so much because what that does is it really makes the player feel like there's nothing special going on here, that, you know, we're all within the same world here. Nothing is expected of us. And I really like that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's the kind of vibe that I got from it. Right here it says tip, create a floor base. And then it says to create a floor base platform for the character to write on, select the geometry tool and draw a rectangle under the character. So this was a little confusing because it's pointing directly at the ground. I think it's assuming that you understand that there's a floor base already there, but I don't know. And then right here it says modify the square, where once you click on it, then it has this wonderful green dotted highlight that I really like. It looks so much different than everything else, because this little thing, because it's animated also, looks very different from everything else. You can see that the dots, you know, chase each other. So really like that. We have these context menus that come up as soon as you click on something, which is great. And then it shows you exactly what you should be clicking on with all these little red arrows and stuff. Really like that stuff. What's nice about it is that the player is learning, you know, while they're doing it. They're not just reading a bunch of instructions and then trying to regurgitate, just learning while they're doing it at the same time. And that's what video games should be about in design. So I really like that. I guess my only criticism with like these menus and stuff is that it's, again, with graphic design, right? Everything feels so rough right now, and it's because it probably is rough, right? Because it's an early game. Yeah, I would just make everything, you know, feel nicer. And then it says test and publish at the very end. What I really like about this whole thing is that a lot of other game tutorials will just assume that the player understands the step when they do it, and then they just continue. So for example, if this were to happen in this game, it would say something like, click on these buttons to select tools, right? And it would show like this and be like, you know, do that thing right here. And then the player would go and click on one, and then it would say, you know, click over here to place the object. And so you do that, and then it's like, congratulations, you've done what, you know, you're supposed to do. And then it's like, well, yeah, but I've just followed the steps that you told me to do. That's like, I'm not understanding. And so that's what I really like about this, is that the player is the one who's doing everything. Like, it does tell, it's basically just an instruction manual, but the instruction manual is being driven by the player. It's that the player themselves has to, you know, click and drag and then copy something and then drag something else. Like, it's so well done. It's just, that's the only term I can come up with. It's really well done. So I really like that. Really like this. The only thing that this game doesn't go into is some of the stuff that you can do for, like, for example, we have an advanced tab, but there's also like physics-based things that you can do in here. So like there's a joint button right here, and it doesn't really tell you how to do triggers or physics and stuff like that. But you can, you know, you can do so much in this. Like, it's a really powerful editor. You know, there's nothing really bad with any of that stuff. It's just when you don't teach the player that kind of stuff, they don't have the tools in their tool set, but there's so much more to the editor. And I would like to see another tutorial, maybe an advanced tutorial. I don't know if there is one, because I haven't come across one. It would be really cool to have a tutorial that, you know, does basically the same thing, but with other more advanced stuff, with the joints and with the physics and with triggers and stuff. You could create something really cool here if you can step the person through like a really advanced thing, but have it feel really easy to do. There's two different kinds of audiences that I see playing this game. There's one, just the mass audience that you would want to attract, just anybody. And then there's two, the people that have been playing this game and have contributed so much already. There's such an amount of community here that has a really good understanding of the editor and everything. But that audience are the ones that are naturally drawn to all this stuff, and their natural curiosity will just come up. If you remember the first Lego game that was, I don't know if it was called Creator or something like that. It was basically building Legos, but on your computer. I don't remember a whole lot about the game, but I do remember that it was so aggravating. One, because I just didn't have a good computer, but two, because the stuff that it allowed you to do pretty much anything. Just basically take any Lego piece that you wanted, you know, put it down and build something. But typically when someone builds Legos, it's like, I have like a bucket full of Legos and I'm digging through to find some pieces, and I can get inspired randomly by other pieces. But with the program, you have to know exactly what piece that you want every time. So that way you have to go and search for that piece specifically, get it, come back and place it, and then do that again several times. And it's like, that's just not how, or it's not how I thought. I'm not sure if it's how other people think. I'm sure there were some people that liked the game. But a game like that, it's so specific, and it's like, it's an editor built for people who like editing. When you build a game like Super Mario Maker, you start getting into the more mass audience side and less of the niche audience side. People that can come in from any skill set. They don't have to be automatically interested in editing. They just come in from any skill set and just learn immediately what they're supposed to do as if it's a game itself. And because this game is so editing oriented, I think that could really help. You know, if we have an editor that's basically built like a game, an editor that has maybe certain achievements that you can do, or you can unlock certain tools once you've done certain things, very segmented out, you know, much like a game would be. And Super Mario Maker does that, and it's extremely popular for that reason. And it just means that people from any skill set can come over and build just about anything, and you'll expand your audience like crazy that way. I want to be more interested in this game, and I think it would be much more interesting if there was that kind of segmented editing thing built into here. So Eric, feel free to come over to the Discord if you're not already there, and you know, continue to carry on the discussion, if you will. I'll hit up your Discord too, because I saw that you have that in there. And of course, this is the second channel. I mean, we have a first channel called Games Over Coffee. This is Games Over More Coffee. So check out that other channel if you're interested in game design. Hi there, my name is Devon, and this is, that's not how we start these things. My name's Dev Brew. Hi, my name is Devon. That's not what I'm, hi, this is, hi there, welcome to Dev Brew. This is where indie developers, hi there.